Hi, I'm Jeremy Pollack and welcome back to Conflict Resolution for Violent Interactions. In the previous video, we learned some conflict resolution techniques to de-escalate a situation with an aggressive stranger. That was dealing with a level 1 conflict, which is still in the talking phase, and it means that the person has not gone into your personal space or crossed personal boundaries yet, which is essentially a touching distance. Now let's say we use our level 1 techniques, but the person doesn't calm down, or maybe they skip the level 1 information gathering stage altogether, and they just jump right into level 2 conflict, which is called Pre-Violent Reactive Challenging. At level 2, we are still in pre-violence. The physical altercation hasn't occurred yet, but it's escalating quickly. At this level, the individual seems to be ready to become physical, and they're making the final decision, challenging you to see how you'll respond. This means they have taken steps towards you, they don't seem to be willing to converse, and they're attempting to cross into your personal space. Now, this is important. The general rule is to never let anyone cross into that boundary, into that personal space when they're being aggressive, even during a level 1 conflict. No one's allowed in your personal space unless you invite them in, and that only happens when you and that person are engaged in a peaceful, cooperative state. Personally, I don't like to be that close with any stranger unless I've conversed with him and get a sense of his or her general demeanor. But of course, at public venues like bars or concerts or events, you're going to inevitably be within reach of strangers, and it's probably fine because you're cooperatively assessing and or ignoring each other. But as soon as anyone who's displaying aggression towards you comes within reach, you must put your hands up immediately in a protective but non-threatening gesture and back away. This not only indicates you don't want to fight, it's also for protection against head-level attacks. So if we remain calm and respond rationally, there are a few de-escalation methods to try depending on how heated the situation gets during a level 2 conflict. First, just try giving up. If you want peace and you're not trying to establish your own dominance, and you shouldn't be if you're watching this video series, then just appease him. Give him the win. Put your hands up, palms facing out, and let him know, okay, you win. You can stop. I give up. What now? What do you need from me? What do you need from me just to stop? Give him an out that makes him win. Let him know what it will take to stop without losing respect. You may also try to make yourself an ally by teaming up with him. Tell him, I'm on your side, I agree with you. And then ask, so what do we do together to figure this out? How do we make things right? Whether or not you can beat him, join him. Now, if he continues and this doesn't calm him down, try calling him out on his behavior. Are you just trying to find an excuse to fight? I don't want to fight, you win. Illuminate what the aggressor is doing so he can reflect on his actions and any witnesses can hear what he's doing too. It's often really effective to try reaching his higher brain by trying to converse. And this happens by asking questions and by indicating what he's doing and potential legal consequences even. I'm calling the cops. Do you want that? You're about to go to jail. You sure you want to go to jail? Ask him if he wants what's about to happen. Try to get him to converse with you. If he's able to converse, at least we're starting back on the path towards reason. Reminding him of consequences inflicted by third parties doesn't challenge his need for respect because you're not suggesting that you will punish him, but rather law enforcement and the courts. And this gives him an excuse to stop that won't hurt his ego or pride, hopefully. You can do all this prior to a fight and even throughout the physical altercation. Keep talking, keep trying to reach the higher brain even when you're in control. Allow him a safe way to give up without losing face. So forfeit, team up, and call him out. Now, if this doesn't work and he or she continues to aggressively advance, you have to change your de-escalation tactics to commanding a de-escalation. During our level 1 conflict, and up until now, our aim was to get the other person to understand we are not a threat. We consider the other party to be a defender, not an attacker, who's simply behaving aggressively because he or she feels afraid and subsequently angry and defensive. But now, because they refuse to converse or calm down and continue to advance towards you, we need to flip the switch and get this person to actually recognize that you are in fact a potential threat to them if they continue being aggressive. So how do we command de-escalation? What do we say? A lot of people call this type of speech verbal self-defense or verbal judo, and this is what we use at level 2 conflicts when all else fails. So here's 5 important elements of communication to practice when commanding de-escalation. Okay? Number 1, use powerful body language. Remember, this is past the point of talking and reasoning, but prior to physical violence. It's now time to evoke power and presence. I remember a martial arts teacher once telling me that when facing an opponent, present so much power that the opponent feels as if the entire universe is in front of him. I always held on to that. Embody the strength and power of your entire being. Make intense eye contact, maintain a very serious face, stand tall and erect your chest. These are all very primal gestures which even non-human primates use to display prowess. But they work because we're trying to communicate with the person's emotional, pre-human brain, as well as his conscious, intelligent mind. Use your body to show the person you're not afraid, that you're ready and willing to defend yourself without even having to say so. Don't lose your cool. Let him know that you're in total control of your personal space and in command of your emotional state. Use your body language to show that you're a force to be reckoned with. Always remembering to keep your hands up at head level, palms facing out. Next, use a commanding voice. When we speak, we raise our voices loud from the gut. Some teachers call this woofing. With this guttural voice, we command the aggressor to stop and display how very serious we are. Stop! Get back! Don't come any closer! Police learn to speak like this to have a commanding voice, to embody a dominant presence. There are entire training courses for this type of speech, having a confident, commanding presence through visceral, clear speech. Really important, you have to jolt this enraged or impassioned aggressor out of his aggressive path and give him a glimpse of what he's about to go up against. Third, use short, direct commands. Once someone's enraged or becoming increasingly upset, it's really difficult to rationalize or reason with them. Fight or flight related hormonal changes can create a sort of a tunnel vision, and they're riding almost unconsciously on a wave of emotion and adrenaline. Their body and nervous system are essentially preparing itself for defense, and a number of physiological events occur in this state. The higher brain often shuts off, and the emotional and rational brain takes over. We need to be short, clear, and repetitive in order to jolt the system and reach the higher brain. If there's some semblance of rationality left, and the individual has not yet fully committed to violence, which is the definition of level 2, then there's a chance of reaching his reason and getting the parasympathetic nervous system to start regaining control and regulating the body to a more normalized state. But we have to be clear, short, and loud. Stop! Back off! Don't come any closer! Tell them what you want them to do so that if they do hear you and their will or fortitude in aggressing starts to wane, they understand exactly what to do to de-escalate. Give them an easy way out of this. All they have to do is stop. Really simple. But in their aggressive haze, sometimes they can forget there's any turning back now, so remind them. Next, reflect on his actions. Again, because he's enraged in fight or flight mode and not thinking clearly, the aggressor may not exactly understand all the implications of what he's about to do. So help him understand. You're threatening me. Reflect on what he's doing so he can hear it. Make him aware that he's making this decision, that he is about to break the law. This puts the option in his hands and subconsciously gives him an out. If he is responsible for making this decision, then he can also choose not to do it. Let him know that this violent situation is his doing and can be stopped at his will. Plus, indicating loudly what he's doing allows witnesses to hear what's going on, that he is the one aggressing. Let him and everyone around him know exactly what this person is doing. And that brings us to number 5, scream or powerfully alert others. As a final resort, loudly alert the world. Hey, this guy's trying to fight me! Someone call the cops! This alert could very well jolt his tunnel vision, adrenaline-filled rage back into a state of reason. I've seen this work to get enraged individuals to realize what they're doing, to snap out of their rage bubble and realize there's an actual world around them with witnesses and potential legal consequences. Individuals escalating to violence aren't usually thinking about all the consequences, and premeditating predators usually only attack when no one's around to stop them or to catch them. So alerting the world about what's happening, even if that means screaming for help, is often an effective final resort to stop physical altercation. So there are 5 elements: strong body language, commanding voice, short direct commands, reflect on his actions, and alert the world. So let's give an example of what this might look like. First, we'll go over what not to do, and then we'll do it in the right way. Take a look. Yo, get the fuck away from me, man. Get the fuck away. Get the fuck away from me. I'm gonna fucking hurt you, man. What the fuck?
Put him up there.
Now, that's definitely the wrong way to diffuse a situation and get someone to calm down if that's my goal. Notice how I was slouched over and turning my back to him at first, indicating weakness and retreat, which can often inspire an attacker to become more enraged, similar to how hunting predators go after weak prey. Seeing weakness while enraged can provoke greater aggression. Notice then how I lost my cool, losing a sense of command over myself in the situation. This displays fear and a lack of experience, which can also instigate greater aggression in the aggressor. Then I gave him a physical consequence, rising to his challenge and escalating the entire situation. If calmness and panic are contagious, I sure panicked and it rubbed off on him. 2 panicked individuals in an aggressive conflict is almost sure to lead to a violent altercation. So let's see an example now of a more correct way to engage in level 2 conflict resolution, taking into consideration the 5 elements we just went over. Yo, I don't want to go to jail. You don't want to go to jail, do you? Do you want to go to jail? This is going to call the cops. Someone's going to call the cops. Stop! Don't come any closer to me. You're threatening me. Hey, someone call the cops! Someone call the cops! This guy's trying to fight me! Okay. Notice how I stood my ground with commanding body language and strong vocal commands. This lets him know I won't be an easy target, so he better slow down and really grasp what he's about to do. I then told him what I wanted him to do, which was to stop. I let him know what he was doing, which was threatening me, and when he didn't stop, I alerted the world around us as to what was happening and asked for help in getting the law to the scene. This snapped him out of his pursuit, reaching his rational brain beneath the fire of the emotion, and motivating him quickly to walk off before getting caught or drawing more attention. This takes practice. Practice your commanding posture and your voice, what you're going to say over and over. Practice this over and over. We want to become natural at this, even when our adrenaline starts pumping and our higher rational brain stops working as well, whether it's physical defense or verbal self-defense. If you don't practice saying, "Stop!" and saying it with a commanding presence, you'll have a lot of trouble doing it in that emotional fight or flight moment. If you don't practice, who knows what you'll say or if you'll say anything. You need to practice. Now, of course, if the person doesn't calm down and he continues to advance into your personal space aggressively, then you have the legal right to go into physical self-defense mode and plan an attack strategy. If this becomes the case and you've done everything you could do to peacefully resolve the situation and they just won't back down or allow you to leave peacefully, then you may have no choice but to physically defend yourself. If tension does escalate, look to the individual's hands. Anytime we're in a potentially violent situation, we want to watch hands because that's where weapons will be. Look to his hands and also continue scanning his eyes to watch for his targets, should he strike or if he's looking behind you at an obstacle or looking around for friends. And if anyone in a rage ever tells you, "Stay there," or "Okay, we'll see," and quickly walks off, immediately leave the scene. Make the assumption he or she is going to get allies or going to get a weapon, so leave immediately. So that was some peaceful conflict resolution techniques for a level 2 conflict. In the next video of the series on conflict resolution for violent interactions, we'll go over some philosophy behind violent conflict resolution, including physical self-defense at levels 3, 4, and 5 conflicts. Stay tuned.